Good afternoon. Welcome to episode 38 of the Blunt Talk Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Wright, coming to you from the warm and comfy confines of Atlantic City, New Jersey. Wherever you may be watching or listening, I thank you as always. Like, share, and subscribe. It helps the channel. Diving right into it, we're going to hop into the pretty much a full roundup of the organized team activities, the mandatory mini camps that the Eagles had to be present for. We pretty much are going to touch on the practices, notes, news of note, some things that I saw the team working on. We know AJ Brown, Devontae Smith talked to the team. I ain't even going to get into all that because I ain't even going to hold you. AJ didn't really have too much news of note, just more or less just saying he, taking on more of a leadership role, which is great. They asked Smitty about, does he feel like he got work because, fucking Joe Banner coming out of the fucking vortex of fuckery of wherever troll realm that he's in, asking about, do you feel like you got dicked over by your agent because, the wide receiver market's exploded before you took your deal? And I love Smitty's response by saying he's not counting nobody else's pockets, only his, and what he's worried about. Fantastic to hear that you got guys like that that's in a leadership role on your team. And fuck Joe Banner. I mean, if you're an Eagles fan like I am, and you've been a diehard Eagles fan, if you know anything about this asshole, he has been one of the main reasons T.O. didn't stay with the team, and one of the reasons that we were in cap hell in between 2005 and 2007. So fuck Joe Banner. But having said all that, we're gonna hop right into it. James Bradbury took reps at safety. Kind of a shock there. Bradbury, we know Avonte Maddox has definitely took reps at safety, but not a shock there. He also took reps, but Maddox and Bradbury both took reps at safety. Kind of short-lived because Bradbury kind of got injured in team drills. Coaches later reported that it was an abductor injury. This man's pretty much playing for his football life, so it remains to be seen how and when he gets back on the field. But I just think this is a reach. He's lost his speed. He doesn't have the same get to it like he used to. I'm glad in 2022 he did. Helped in the Super Bowl appearance, but we all know he held Juju Smith-Schuster, and it just seems like it's been all downhill since then. And I know that the defense was bad last year. I know some of it was Sean Desai, but we have to stop creating bullshit excuses for guys. We know that the coaching was bad last year. We know that for a fact. But James Bradbury didn't play up to snuff, and he damn sure played like one of the worst corners in football last year. So remains to be seen, but he's battling with injury right now. We'll see how he bounces back, but definitely interesting thing to notice starting off camp. Another interesting thing that was noticeable in camp: Kaylee Ringo, who's fourth round pick out of Georgia 2 years ago, highly sought after, but he dealt with some injuries and some off the field concerns. That being said, get that shit out the way. He had a very, very good week at practice. He's been racking up days throughout the mini camps. He had a very good practice at the mandatory camp for the few days that it was available for the media, for people to be able to view and witness it. Kaylee Ringo was forcing multiple deep passes. He was playing blanket coverage on a lot of guys. And he started opposite of Darius Slay on the outside, which I think is a huge sign from Vic Fangio saying that this guy is possibly ready to take on more. And we all know he played at the end of last year and he showed a lot of promise. So this is going to be huge for Kaylee Ringo. And it was definitely good to see. And I think you got to prepare yourselves mentally, something we haven't been used to in a while. The Eagles may actually, for a good, good amount of time, have a good young cornerbacks room. Where this year you may say, damn, the first 4 or 5 guys are actually pretty good. They're actually not bad. If that happens, I think this will be a special season. It seems like that they're building towards that. You're going to need that for this type of defense anyway, but shout out to Kaylee Ringo for fucking putting in work. Hopping into an offensive note real quick. Devontae Smith was definitely back at practice. He looked fluid. He looked in great shape, a little bit more muscular. And you clearly could see as soon as he got back, the rapport between him and him and AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts, the chemistry is going to be key. That being said, I love that what I saw. I love that Hurts was getting the ball to Smitty pinpoint. AJ Brown was getting it in stride. Everything was going good. The thing I need people to really realize though is the way for this offense to truly expand is we're going to need Jalen to make sure that he's incorporating the Paris Campbells of the world, the Dallas Goederts of the world. I mean, obviously Saquon's going to be a little bit more featured in the offense. If he can get more guys touching the ball and guys can get the ball open in more, free space, sky's the limit for this offense and what they can do. But it's definitely great to see the chemistry between those three because let's be honest, this ship will go as far as those three are going. Having said that, I want to touch on Nick Sirianni getting real fucking vocal with the guys at practice, grilling them and being critical on drills for guys not hitting, not executing on certain practice drills they were doing, and specifically the execution on down punts by the goal line. I'm not mad at Sirianni for this. This is the shit that costs you your job. If you're not coaching guys up like this in the spring and in the summer, then by the fall, they're going to be making these mistakes and you're going to lose games and then you're going to be out of a job and you're going to say, woulda, shoulda, coulda. And, I think for me, it's the little things like that that separates the good coaches from the bad coaches. It will remain to be seen if it is effective. But the fact that they're coaching and he's being this adamant, to guys in camp early is setting the standard and is setting the table for what I think will be a very promising season for him potentially. Because make no mistake, the pressure's on him, and if he fails, he will be fired. The Eagles rolled out their 2-4-5 dime package. They practiced that a lot over the couple of days. I like what I saw. If you're not familiar with the 2-4-5 dime package, it's 2 down linemen, preferably 2 nose tackles, 4 quasi linebacker corners, and then you got the 5 corners and safety. So you got 2, 4, 5. It's layered. It's a very good passing defense. If you got good guys in spots where the nickel or the safety or the corner position makes it very hard for the quarterback to find the ball and get the ball into tight spots. So it's a very good defense package that they have that they can utilize this year. Needless to say, though, the thing that I wanted to highlight was we saw Darius Slay within that package. He was on the left side. Ringo was on the right. Avonte Maddox was in the slot. And Quinyon Mitchell was manning the middle of the defense, which I thought was very peculiar that you had the corner manning the middle. So, again, very interesting. A little wrinkle, something I think that was missing from this defense, of all the things that was missing from this fucking defense last year. I think this is a wrinkle that's going to be added. Because, again, that's something where schematically, that's going to confuse the shit out of an offense. If you see a corner playing middle linebacker, and then there's a bunch of corners just roaming in space, and then there's 2 big guys just caving in the middle of the field, and that's pretty much the defense saying, yeah, we're not rushing you, go ahead and throw the ball. This guy's just sitting in space. So, very interested to see them running that package and to see who they had running the middle. Landon Dickerson has been excused through the mandatory minicamps. Come to find out, it wasn't any conduct detrimental to the team or no shit like that. It was just a personal matter that he had to have taken care of, that he couldn't be excused from. With that being said, though, we just highlighted on a previous episode how Jeff Stoutland was talking about Mekhi Becton being a backup left guard and the depth that guarantees and warrants the offensive line, something that they didn't necessarily have an abundance of last year. It's going to be great to see how Mekhi Becton develops. I think this kid played in a shitty organization with the Jets. I felt like, he definitely didn't play well, but he wasn't really being coached up. So it remains to be seen. But I think in between those guys he's playing with, if he develops properly and utilizes the tools that Stoutland has, helped lay out for him, I think it would be a special year for Mekhi Becton. Highlighting next on second team defense, which I thought was very interesting. Quinyon Mitchell played on the outside. Cooper DeJean played the nickel. Mitchell also got some first team reps at nickel. It's just showing you more and more what Vic Fangio's creativeness is with the defense. As he stated, he's going to give these guys a lot to handle in the mini camps and the OTAs, and if they can handle it, they'll get that when the game time comes. If not, he'll peel back. But it's very great to see that these young guys are playing so many different positions and they're owning it. They're being versatile, and it's just it just springs hope for us on defense, especially in that defensive backfield, because as I just stated, as of last year, that was one of the worst defensive backfields in the NFL last year. And they have to be better for this team to even want to compete for a Super Bowl or even be in a Super Bowl. Next, a little funny news to note. C.J. Gardner-Johnson was getting some punt return work. Not funny in the aspect that I don't think he can do it, but funny in the aspect of it just shows you how coaches and coordinators are really experimenting with this new XFL kickoff, rule and this punt return rule, and showing how we can utilize special teams scoring points. I mentioned in a previous episode, the Eagles were 7th in the NFL last year in special teams. They want to consistently be in the top 10, preferably be in the top 5 this year. They can add scoring as an element to their special teams. Sky's the limit, and this team will really be on board to really have a special season. One of the guys I wanted to highlight on first team defense, he's played some second team, but primarily first team defense, Devin White. Now, we know Devin White comes to Philly much maligned because, things didn't really work out that well in Tampa. He's kind of come here and embraced the role. He's been a leader. He posted a photo the other day on Instagram talking about the team, and he's been taking on the leadership role, and it's been integral for him because he's playing for a contract. He's playing to prove that he belongs, and he deserves to be paid as one of the top linebackers. And it's great to see that he's taking this role and not running from it or trying to diminish anything or stray away from it. That being said, it was a play of note that really stuck out to me where Jalen Hurts was throwing a crossing route to Devontae Smith, and Smitty kind of went and tried to grip the ball, and it was kind of deflected off his arm. And Devin White, excuse me, I said Devontae. Devin White had made a great play and was able to recover the interception. And also another news of note that I thought was interesting on that play, and it was happened previous plays after that. Zach Bourne was playing the weak side linebacker to Devin White, which would be the outside linebacker. Kind of makes me a little worried. Where the hell is Nakobe Dean? Is he healthy? Has he really picked up the defense the way he's needed to? I mean, in all honesty, he has had multiple coordinators. He has had injuries he's had to deal with, but he was a third-round pick 2 years ago. A lot is being expected out of him. A lot is being warranted out of him. And he's got guys that's playing on one-year deals that's playing in front of him, and I kind of don't know if that's a sign of him or if the coaches more or less feel like he needs a little bit more time, but it's going to be very integral for Nakobe Dean to step up because if he doesn't, he's going to be out of there in a year or two. Last but not least, last two things I want to wrap up from OTAs that I thought was very pivotal. It seems definitive that Paris Campbell was the number 3 wide receiver. I highlighted how he spoke on playing around great players and wanting to reach greatness and to ascend to that. And it's great that Jalen got a great rapport with him early before Smitty came back into camp. So it remains to be seen how everything will play out. We know Sirianni definitely got the most out of this guy when he was offensive coordinator in Indianapolis. We know if he can give us anything to what Quez Watkins gave us 2 years ago, that's a great season, especially for Paris Campbell standards. Anything a little under that too would be cool, but anything less than that would be fucking horrible. So, needless to say, it's great that Paris Campbell's a third wide receiver, but we really need to see how far he can really go because we've been flamed out. Quez Watkins was kind of hit or miss. Julio Jones, played well in spots last year, but we really need that third receiver to kind of step up and take that mantle. And last but not least, the thing that I think will be the linchpin to the running game, the linchpin to the offense, and how the offense is attacked defensively. It has been very important to see that Jalen and Saquon have been working on passing drills together, working on running drills together, working on pass protection. And I'm just very anxious to see because honestly, God true, Saquon Barkley has looked like a fucking beast this offseason. He looks in great shape. He looks renewed, focused, and rejuvenated. And for the rest of the NFC, that's scary news. And as long as he's healthy, as long as he and Jalen is healthy, that rushing attack is going to be deadly. Can you imagine the push-tush? Can you imagine the red zone capable possibilities? Middle of the field, trying to stop all those guys in space. It's just going to be great to see. And I'm glad to see that they're putting the work in. They're doing the necessary things that's going to be required to have this team in contention and possibly contending late in the season. That'll wrap up episode 38, the Eagles Mandatory Minicamp news and notes. Kind of possibly be the last episode of the Eagles up until training camp. I mean, obviously, if any other news and notes comes out that Bird game, I'll be reporting it. But that should be a wrap up until training camp for the team. As always, guys, thank you for watching and listening. Like, share, and subscribe. Take care, be safe, and enjoy your day.